So guys, today's agenda, first of all, let me tell you what we will be covering. We have configured management access. So I hope everyone has configured management access of F5. If someone is left, they can configure it. They can ask me after the class is over, or we have some people who have done it. So they can coordinate. After that, guys, now the next step is how to license. So let's start with the licensing and provisioning part. Then we will do network configuration and how to back up the configuration. And then we will cover up with the F5 components like what is virtual server, what is pool, and what is pool member. So today is very important class, which is the base for further classes. So we will go one by one and let's set up with licensing. So guys, on that day, I have shown you that how to register. So what you have is you need to go here. You will have the access of this machine. So you just log in. So first step is guys, when you get a login page, when you get an access to management IP, you will see this screen. What is license? Why it is needed, guys? So license is the main feature of F5 whenever you install F5 for any customer. Without license, your traffic will not flow. Let's say your client comes in and wants to connect to any application, SIANETS.com. If license is not there, then traffic will not get forward. Your components will not get forward. Sometimes some devices does not have license, still the traffic will flow. But in F5, if you do not have license, no features will work. So the first task is to configure management IP, that we have done it. Second task, whenever you install any new F5 guys, second task is to do license. So how to go to license? So I have shown you to go to 30 days license. Like you just type in Google, I have shown this process. I'm just repeating for 1 minute. You just type 30 days license. So you will go to this link and you will get the license key. Get the free trial. So you will get this on the email ID. So like this, you will find the license key. So once you get the license key, you will get an email like this. Here are your big IP and big IQ key. So what is the use of 3 license key that I have told? What is the use is you can use one license key for 30 days. After that, before 30 days expired, you use please another key. That will again your license will extend to 30 days more. Now, before 30 days goes over, you need to take care that you need to use the third key. So this way, you can use license for 90 days, guys. That is the use of 3 keys. Okay, so let's go further on. I will go to my F5. So the same things is covered here. I've shared this document with everyone how to obtain a registration key. So that this is how you log in and you obtain a registration key. So I will go like this. We are on this step. So let's go further on. I will say activate. Here you need to click activate. Now here you need to enter the base registration key. So the base registration key, let me check if it's work for me. Otherwise, I will take from one of you. So I will go here. I will just enter copy the key like this. And there are two methods, guys. Let's say if your F5 has an internet connectivity, then it can license through internet directly. But sometimes your F5 management devices does not have internet connectivity due to security reason. In that case, you need to do manual activation of license. So I have copied the base registration key. My F5 does not have internet connectivity. You just click on manual and then we will click on next. Now, what we need to do is we need to go here. Click here to access F5 licensing server. So just go here. It will open your F5 server. Now copy this dossier file. Just copy, Control A, Control C. Just enter here. So this dossier is unique for unique product. Let's say you use one key, you cannot use in another laptop. So how F5 identifies? F5 identified through this dossier. If this license is used somewhere else, it will throw error. So that is why license is unique. It will work in one product. You cannot use in another F5 device, another license key. So you need to be very taken care of this. Now, what need to do is you go here. I have copied this. Just click next. What we did, we just go Control A, Control C, next. Now it will ask for legal agreement. Just click on next. Next. Let's see if my license key works. Okay, it worked. So this is how you will get your license key. You just need to press Control A, Control C. Just copy this file and enter here. Just click next. That's it. It's a very easy step in just 3 steps. You just need to activate, then you will get a license key. Just need to enter it, then copy the dossier file and use this link to get a license key. So just copy paste, or you can download also, you can manually upload the file. So that is what. So guys, this is very important. Even you are in production environment, guys, you should know how to configure F5 from scratch. So you should have console first, you configure your management IP, then the second part is license. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes, you can also do it. It depends on, so it's done. So make sure that whenever your license key expired, let's say in production environment, question comes here, if I renew my license, will it impact my traffic? Yes, your all services will get restarted. So always do license activation, reactivation in your downtime. So can you see this? It will give you that your license is done, active. Here, otherwise it was showing me not licensed. If it's licensed, you will see this. Now guys, next step comes across resource provisioning part. So here, what does it mean? So you can see here, you can see LTM, ASM, GTM. Can you see this? With this license key, I can use all these features. APM, AVR, AFM, firewall also, layer 4 firewall. So by default, F5 gives you license key to test all your features in your lab environment. But in production, guys, whenever you ask for license, you need to first ask your customer whether they want to use F5 Ltm, GTM, ASM or APM. Because in that case, they will give you license per feature or per module. This is one module. GTM is one module. APM is another module. So they will not give you license as per lab environment because lab environment is free of cost, guys. So that is why you need to be careful on this part. After that, you will talk with your customer. You will then Go with F5. You will first you talk with customer. They say that I want to use only LTM. Now you need to call to F5 sales team that hey F5, I need a license only for LTM. So they will give you license key only for LTM. If you want to use GTM later on, you need to call F5 again to use GTM. They will give you add-on key. Because they need to see, they support, right? They give you license and everything. So that is why that is important to know which feature they want to use. Because every feature in F5 is per license based. Now, let's go further on. In my case, guys, I only want to use LTM product. So I will select here LTM. Now, the main question here comes is, what is the difference between, if you see here, there is nominal, dedicated, and minimum. And in management, if you see, there is small, medium, large. So what does this, first of all, let's talk about management. What does this small, medium, large means, guys? Let's say you are using more than 100, sorry, more than 2000 objects. Currently, you will not get what is objects. Objects means your application. Maybe customer wants to use more than 2100 application in your F5. So you need 2100 virtual servers. Objects can be your profiles. Objects can be your virtual server. All this contains object, pool member, pool, all contains your objects node. So I will talk this later on, but you just think like this management components is for objects. If you use in lab environment, you can use small. In your production also, you can use small. But if you have more than 2000 objects, then you should use here large. So that is where difference is coming about your large, medium, or small. So small is used for your lab purpose, for testing environment, or small deployment. Then we have medium. Medium can be used for deployment up to 2000 objects. Small is less than, basically it's used for lab environment, testing environment, and small deployments. Let's say they want to use 100 objects, but medium is used when you want to use up to 2000 objects. So objects, I will tell you guys next topic, like what is virtual server. In that you will get to know once we configure everything. Now, your large comes when you want to configure more than 2000 objects, guys. That is the difference between medium, small, and large. Okay, guys. Now, guys, another important thing is what is the difference between nominal, dedicated, and minimum. Please understand this carefully. This is one of the interview question also. Let's go, and I will go to my whiteboard and I will tell you. So I told you like F5 is one of the company which has a product called Big IP. In Big IP, we have LTM module, we have GTM module, we have ASM, we have APM. I'm treating this for products. We have firewall manager also, AFM. In provisioning, we have three components: dedicated, nominal, and third one is minimal. What is the difference between them, or you can say minimum? So guys, dedicated means that if customer only want to use LTM module, or let's say your F5 has default RAM 32 GB and 4 CPUs. and you want to use LTM as dedicated. In that case, all your resources and CPUs will get allocated to other, it will only allocate it to LTM. So dedicated means LTM will block its required resources and it will not allow GTM, AS and APM to reuse resources. Even if LTM does not use these resources fully, but it will not allow GTM, ASM or other modules to use this. This dedicated means you only want one module in this. Other modules will be none, none, none. That is dedicated. That is why you need to be very careful, guys. When you call with customer, you need to ask whether they want to use LTM, or whether they want to use GTM, ASM, APM. But I will tell you, most of the time, guys, even customer does not confirm. I will always suggest to use nominal in production environment. Dedicated, never use it. Even customer says that I want to use only LTM. Sometimes customer does not know, right? Whether they want to use GTM or ASM. In further on, they can come on. So better to use nominal. So what does nominal mean, guys? I will just come here. So nominal means, let's say you have 32 GB RAM, okay? Now in 32 GB RAM, when I select nominal, it will get at least amount of resources will be allocated, maybe 5 GB and one CPU. So F5 will allocate it automatically least amount of resources which is needed. After this, the other modules can use it. It can also use these resources, it can also use. So you can configure multiple modules in this. So nominal means that one module will get bare minimum resources to operate. That is good step, right? Even if something is left, let's say we have use this. After that, still 4 GB RAM is left. That can also be used by LTM. But minimum resources, if it needs additional resources, they can take care on later. But to operate nominal means that we launch F5 with bare minimum and increase the resources when we need. Let's say I have given 8 GB RAM. Now later after 1 year, I need to increase to 12 GB. That you can increase with nominal. So this is very, very good nominal. It is applicable for most typical configuration. So it will allocate CPU, RAM, and hard disk minimum to operate. Later on, it can use it. That is the difference of between dedicated versus nominal. In dedicated, your whole resources are fully utilized to one module. Even it's not using, no other module you can use. But when you select nominal, in that minimum resources will be allocated here, then here, then here. You can use other modules later on also, guys. Now, another step is minimum or minimal. In minimum, what does it means is, let's say I have F5, I have LTM, I have GTM, I have ASM. In minimum, let's say 32 GB, we have full box RAM. When I select minimum, in that case, it will allocate resources, like minimum resources will be allocated to operate. Automatically, minimum resources will be allocated here also, like there in nominal. But if I want to increase, let's say 8 GB is allocated here, 8 GB is allocated here, 8 GB is allocated here. But later on, you are facing some slowness issues. Take example of your laptop, guys. You have purchased a laptop of 16 GB RAM. Okay. Now you want to increase to 32 GB. Will you be able to increase? On which factor it depends? It depends on your laptop capacity and RAM slots. Sometimes you cannot increase, right? By default, it's on 16 GB. You want to purchase a new laptop. If laptop is nominal, let's say in F5 nominal, then you can increase. But in minimum, you cannot, once minimum resources are allocated, if still slowness issues comes in, you cannot increase the resources. In this case, you cannot increase 8 GB to 12 GB. But in nominal, you can increase it. In this case, you cannot increase the resources. Very, very important step. In nominal, guys, least amount of resources were required. But later on, you can use it from remaining resources. But here, 24 GB is allocated, LTM, GTM, ASM. Now, one module needs more. You cannot upgrade it. That is the scenario with your laptop also. In some laptop, you cannot increase your RAM. So there the setting is minimum. But if your laptop is nominal, first you have increased to 8 GB, then you can increase to 16 GB also. Then you can go to 32 GB. It all depends on your RAM slots and capacity. So that is what all about resource provisioning. So what we came to know about from this is that resource provisioning depends on your features, which module customer wants to use first. Second, guys, always use nominal. Whether you're using in production environment or in any case, guys, I will always suggest to use resource provisioning nominal because this is works with typical configuration. In production also you will see if anyone is working on F5, you can go here in resource provisioning. I will tell you once we do all the things, you will come to know which tab you will go. You need to go to system tab. Can you see this? Required disk and memory. Let's say here, can you see there is one module which is called secure web gateway. Here it is showing me unlicensed. What does mean is I have a license, but even if I configure this provisioning, if I don't have a license, I cannot use it. That is important that you should have feature licensed also and you should provision also. If one of the feature is not there, then that module you cannot use. So your box should be, let's say you have LTM, it's licensed and you have selected nominal. But let's say ASM is showing non-licensed. You cannot use ASM. Even you configure resource provisioning, you cannot use licensed here. So this works together. You should have your module provisioned also, and you should get license for from F5. And you can see the required disk and memory. This is auto allocated by F5. You don't need to do anything. Now I will select nominal because I want to use LTM right now. I will click next. So this one you also can do. You can just go to LTM and select nominal and click next. This one you can keep it default because I want to use self-signed certificate. That's it. In production also. Now guys, here, can you see my management IP, whatever I have given here on my, when we have taken the console, I've given this IP. This is what it's showing. You can give here host name here. Now you can give big IP 1.com or you can give any name, big IP 3. Time zone, guys, this is important. Let's say you want to see logs of India. You are sitting in India. You just select India because it is helpful to review your logs. Because you're from India, right? You should see if someone is from US, they want to see PST. So select your own time zone. So my is Asia Calcutta. So I will go downwards. Here it is, Asia Calcutta. Now I will select password. Here it's asked, see, by default, what is the default password, username and password for root? Anyone, guys? We have two credentials, right? One is admin and one is root. These are the two username. What is the default password we are using? Here is admin. Here we are using root. It depends what you have configured. Now, guys, never use default because anyone can hack it. Your device can get hacked. So always change your default passwords. So that is this screen is asking to change your default passwords. So what I will do is I will enter new passwords. You can also do it. If you type this and you forgot, just remember this. After that, it's saying that SSH. Guys, you can give that because it's a lab environment. I am allowing everyone to get access to this F5. But if you want to restrict F5 management access to one network, you can do it. Let's say I want F5 management IP to be accessible from 10.1.1.0 network. If someone has IP subnet 192.168.1.0, he will not able to access management IP. So to restrict, you can just go here and you can just type specific range. You can give range here, but I have my lab environment, so I'm giving all IP. Next. And it's saying that since you have uploaded password, you will logged out. So I will log out. They will ask my credentials again because I'm changing my default passwords. So admin username is used for GUI and root username is used for CLI. When you log in into CLI, your root credentials will work. When you log in into GUI, your admin users will work. Later on, I will show you how to configure Takas so that you can log in by your own name. Let's say with it, you can log in by your own name also when F5 is integrated to remote server. Now I will log in via new username and password. It will take some time, depends on your speed. After that, guys, what is the next step? It's asking me to configure network configuration. Either you can do by this option, but I will always recommend it that we should do configure manual network configuration. I will always prefer to configure network components like VLANs, self IP, or interfaces related configuration manually. So what I will do, I will just press finished. So this was all about your licensing plus resource provisioning. So see, can you see this? All your options are visible. Local traffic, system tab, network tab. So system, can you go to system? Here you will see the license part. Can you see? What is the expiry date? My license got today active and expiry date is, so before 23rd, let's say on 21st Jan, I need to renew my license and I need to use second key. You can also see what are the features available in this. You can use rate shipping, SDN services, SSL, multicast routing, DNS, ESM, DNS security, firewall, APM, many features. Every feature is available with trial license. If someone asks you what is the type, can you see evolution? This is mean trial. What is the expiry date? This is my expiry date. So I want to renew this before 23rd. So what I need to do, I will go to System tab, License Part, and reactivate. Click this option, reactivate. Add it, and you can type another key. The same option which we did, now you can do it again. So this is how you can see your which when the license got active and when it's getting expired. Can you see 30 days? And you can go to resource provisioning to see. It's in system tab only. License comes here. So that was all about your licensing and provisioning part.